Mongolian beef made in a Cosori pressure cooker.
Let's see what's cooking. It's time for Yo-Yo Max 12.
Hello everyone, I want to introduce you to the newest member of my kitchen. I am now the proud owner of a Cosori programmable multi-cooker, pressure cooker. When I was growing up, I remember I used to ask my mom about pressure cookers, and she said, "Oh no, we don't want one of those. They're dangerous, they can explode, and blah blah blah." And I think she probably saw this movie just like I did.
Do you think it's trying to tell us something?
I hope you like chicken and saffron rice served with chocolate sauce. It's an East Indian classic, my dear.
3 months ago, I couldn't scramble eggs.
Yeah, back in the old days, pressure cookers were used on the stove. You had to control the heat that way. But this one is programmable, it's electric, and it's very safe. They have built-in safety features. You don't have to worry about that kind of thing happening anymore. And lately there's been a craze on Facebook and YouTube and all over about Instapot and other kinds of pressure cookers and how great they are. And I've always wanted to try one. Cosori said, "We'll send you one to try for free. Just let people know what you think of it." I've never used a pressure cooker before in my life. I hear it cuts down cooking time significantly. This is what it looks like. You have this big lid that actually is which is what controls the pressure and which keeps the pressure in the pot. It came with a steamer. Like, this is the steamer. You put this in the bottom and you can steam vegetables. You put water or broth in the bottom and your veggies on top. It is also a slow cooker, and it comes with a separate lid that Instapot doesn't have. You have to buy that separately. This comes with it, and this lid just turns into a slow cooker. So if you already have a slow cooker, you're never going to use it again, because this will do that as well. So what I'm planning on doing for its maiden voyage is I'm going to make rice, because this is also a rice cooker. And I'm also going to make dinner with this. So I'm going to show you how the rice turns out, and I'm going to make some Mongolian beef. So this should be interesting. So stick around and we'll take a look at the recipe. First thing we're going to do is make the rice. Basically all I did is I added 3 cups of water in the bottom of the pot. I just followed the package instructions on the rice to 1.5 cups of rice. This is basmati rice. You have to throw that lid on, just make sure it's locked properly. You just turn it to the locked position. And when this thing is plugged in, when you do this, it sings a little song to tell you that it's on properly. And just make sure that your pressure release button is on the locked position. That'll keep the steam in. That little red button there also pops up when it's cooking. Now the control panel on this has a lot of different presets. You can make oatmeal in this, you can make yogurt, brown rice, white rice, stews, poultry soups. You can boil pasta in this. You can do all sorts of great stuff with this. In this case, we're doing the white rice. So all you have to do is press the white rice button and you press on. And that's all there is to it. So once this comes up to pressure, it tells me that it's going to take 6 minutes to cook this rice. Now the amount of time it takes to come up to pressure, and that means it's coming up to pressure when it's circling around like that, will depend on the temperature of the liquid you put in there. If you put super cold water in there with the rice, it's probably going to take about 10-12 minutes to come up to pressure, plus an additional 6 for the cooking time. And once it's done cooking, it'll automatically go to keep warm. And if you look over on the right hand side, there's a keep warm light that's on there. It's hard to see with this lighting. It automatically keeps your food warm after it's done cooking, and it also starts to count up the number of minutes that it's been sitting there, so you know how long it's been sitting. I let mine sit for about 10 minutes before I release the pressure, and you use an oven mitt or a tea towel for this, because hot steam is hot, of course, so you don't want to burn yourself. Let the steam out and then take the lid off, and there is the rice. I was really happy with the way this rice turned out. It's basmati, that's why it's kind of long looking, and is perfectly cooked. Not a single drop of cooking liquid left on the bottom. It was not stuck to the bottom at all, which I was kind of surprised by. I thought it would stick a little, but it's perfect. Absolutely perfect rice. All right, so on to the Mongolian beef recipe. Now this cooker is not only a pressure cooker, you can actually saute in it. So you can use this just like you would a pot on the stove, and you can fry stuff in it. So what you do is you push the saute button and it'll heat the bottom of the pot. And what I did is I put a little bit of olive oil and then I browned the pieces of beef that I had. This recipe asks for 2 pounds of beef strips. I put that in there and gave it a stir until the pieces were browned. I added 2 cloves of chopped up garlic, half a cup of water, a cup of soy sauce, a teaspoon of minced ginger, gave that a stir and then realized I forgot to add the sugar, and I added 1 cup of brown sugar to this. Then you give it a stir to make sure it's all combined, and we're going to turn it on. Now you select the meat stew button, and then you're going to adjust the cooking time, pressing adjust, and you press it until it gets to 25. That's the preset for that one, and then you press the on button and it'll start to pressure up. Now because the stuff inside was already hot, it only took about 6 minutes to come up to pressure this time, plus the 25 minutes cooking time. And for this recipe, you don't let it sit after you're done. You release the pressure immediately, and you got to be careful with this, so you use something to do that with. Let the steam come out, and as soon as all the steam is out and that little red button goes down, you can take the lid off. And then you're going to put this back on saute because you want this to continue to simmer. And I added in some cornstarch and water. That's 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 3 tablespoons of water. And I just cooked this on the saute function until it was done. And what I mean by that, the sauce thickened up a little bit. And then I served it on top of the rice with some chopped green onions and a few little sesame seeds for kind of a garnish. This was really good. When I make this again, I'm definitely going to cut the sugar by half, and I'm going to add double the amount of ginger and double the amount of garlic, but that's just my taste. Now the beef itself was super tender, and it had the same tenderness as if you would have simmered this on the stove for probably a good hour, and it was done in half the time. And it was all done in one pot, which was very convenient. So I love this pressure cooker. I'm so happy that they sent it to me because I'm going to be making a lot more with it. And I've already scoured the internet for more recipes. So I'm hoping to make more recipes with this pressure cooker. And let me know if you want to see more pressure cooker recipes. Now, if you're interested in getting the Cosori pressure cooker, there'll be links in the description box to the different Amazons, one in the US, one in Canada. I don't make money off this. These are not affiliate links. It's just a way for you to check out the product. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you to Cosori for sending me this great cooker.